Eid Al Adha is a special time for Muslims around the world. It is a time for family, for feasting, and for reflection. Known as the Festival of Sacrifice, it reminds us of the Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son for God. This profound act of obedience is celebrated by Muslims worldwide. Eid Al Adha is one of the two most important Islamic holidays, falling on the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah, the 12th and final month of the Islamic lunar calendar. Since the Islamic calendar is based on the lunar cycle, the date of Eid Al Adha changes every year. Muslims celebrate for 3 days, reflecting on the meaning of sacrifice and giving thanks to God for his blessings as they commemorate Ibrahim's ultimate act of submission to God. The story of Ibrahim, found in the Quran, the holy book of Islam, is central to our faith. Ibrahim, considered a prophet in Islam, was asked by God to sacrifice his son Ismail as a test of his faith. Deeply troubled and loving his son dearly, Ibrahim struggled with this decision, yet he knew that God's command was absolute and decided to obey. As Ibrahim prepared to sacrifice Ismail, at the very last moment, God intervened and provided a ram to be sacrificed in place of Ismail. This story not only teaches us about the importance of faith and obedience to God, but also shows us that God is merciful and compassionate. Eid Al Adha coincides with the Hajj, the annual pilgrimage to Mecca, a holy city in Saudi Arabia. All Muslims are expected to make the Hajj at least once in their lifetime if they are able. The Hajj is not just a pilgrimage, but a spiritual journey that draws millions of Muslims from all over the world to Mecca. They perform a series of rituals that symbolize the unity and equality of all Muslims. During the Hajj, Muslims wear simple white clothing, signifying their equality before God. This powerful event is a time for Muslims to renew their faith and serves as a reminder of the global Muslim community and the power of faith. Eid Al Adha is celebrated by Muslims all over the world. Celebrations vary from country to country, yet there are some common traditions that unite them. These traditions include special prayers, family gatherings, and the sharing of food. On this day, Muslims wear their finest clothes. Families visit each other and exchange gifts, while children receive new clothes and toys. Special dishes are prepared, and a common tradition is the sacrifice of an animal, typically a sheep or a goat. The meat from the sacrifice is divided into 3 parts, one for the family, one for relatives and friends, and one for the poor. This act of sharing is an important part of Eid Al Adha, reinforcing the bonds within the community. Eid Al Adha is a time for joy and celebration, but it is also a time for reflection and contemplation. The festival reminds Muslims of the importance of sacrifice, urging them to put God first in their lives. Eid Al Adha teaches Muslims to be generous and compassionate, to help those less fortunate, thereby strengthening family and community bonds. It is a time for Muslims to come together, reflect on the values of faith, obedience, and sacrifice. Eid Al Adha is a reminder that true happiness comes from serving God, teaching Muslims to live a life of purpose and meaning. The message of Eid Al Adha is universal. It speaks to themes of compassion, generosity, and social justice. The festival reminds us of the importance of helping others and teaches us to be grateful for our blessings. Eid Al Adha is a time for peace and reconciliation, a time to put aside our differences. We can all learn from the message of Eid Al Adha and strive to live lives of service and compassion. It is a reminder that we are all connected, all part of one human family. We should treat each other with kindness and respect, embodying the true spirit of Eid Al Adha.